Good morning, my friends. This is Manny Rodriguez with Deep True Crime. Thank you so much for joining me this morning. Hope you're having your favorite coffee or your tea or whatever it is you like to start your day off with. Welcome to another episode of Deep True Crime, where we explore what cases are going on out there or what has been solved. My whole goal in running this show is to help you keep updated on the things that you need to know about your surroundings, what's going on around you, because at the end of the day, you never know who you can trust, right? And so when you're following these type of stories, it helps you stay on top of what it is that you may want to keep on top of. So thank you so much for joining me this morning. I'll be right back. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back, my friends. In today's episode, I want to cover 3 current true crime stories that are currently going on or have been solved. In all of these cases, these are people that two have been charged and 2 have been solved. And so let's go ahead and dive right into it. The first one I want to talk about is a confessed murderer threatens the judge and prosecutor. I know, right? Who does that? Only someone who is angry at the world and they are angry that they got caught. Generally, isn't that how it works? They get caught. And that's exactly what I want to cover today, my friends. Let me get the right thing here. Okay, so he says to the judge, the first one I'm going to shoot is you. So he threatens to kill judge and prosecutor at his sentence hearing. That's crazy, right? Like, you can see this is an angry guy. He's angry. He's upset after he confessed to murdering somebody at the Red Roof Inn in Rome, New York. He is now threatening the judge. Like, obviously you have to have a lot of anger to threaten the judge. A confessed murderer lashed out in court this past Friday, threatening to kill both the judge and prosecutor. Today's Saturday, so that was just yesterday, if he ever gets out. Now, he said this openly in court. Openly. So I don't know if he'll face more charges adding on to his time, because this is an open threat. And he says, I ever make it back to Ulster County, the first one I'm going to shoot is you. And he's telling the judge this. And then he says, and you, turning to the side to the prosecutor. I mean, you have to be an angry person to do this. Would it not be fair to say? Because number one, he received a sentence of 23 years to life in prison for killing Benjamin Davis. Rest in peace, Benjamin Davis. And he killed him on November 15th of 2020. And this was a shooting at a red carpet inn in Rome, New York. And so on November 15, 2020, I mean, you're talking about lives that were ripped apart and changed forever. And Benjamin Davis's sister, she says, I will never forget that knock on the door of my apartment. A knock that no one ever wants to hear. Sometimes I still hear that knock on the door. That's sad by all accounts. And so, I mean, this is where it's a sad thing overall. So Wilfredo Cotto Jr., his attorney, Kurt Schultz, said his client apologized to the Davis family in court, but that Cotto made the threats after being confronted with video of the murder and when the judge classified him as a murderer. And that's when he got upset and made these threats. Well, if you murdered someone, you're a murderer, aren't you? Isn't that the definition of a murderer? I don't know. I mean, I would think that is the definition. But, this was tragic. Tragic for the Davis family to even witness such an outburst. This is tragic. Who wants to see that? They're trying to get justice for their family, and then this guy lashes out to the judge because he doesn't like what the judge said about him. And so he did plead guilty on September 3rd. And so this was his sentence hearing to second-degree murder and 2 counts of second-degree possession of a weapon. And so prosecutors have said that he shot Davis multiple times in the chest and face at the Red Carpet Inn, and that Cotto and another man fled the scene. And ultimately, prosecutors were laying blame for the shooting on Cotto and Cotto alone. They didn't blame a second man, but authorities did say that a man stepped forward, telling them he let Cotto use his phone and that the 40-year-old used a Facebook app on this guy's phone. The man later saw that he was still logged in on the account and found messages between Cotto and another individual. In those messages, Cotto wrote that he shot someone. And why would you do that on someone else's phone? Period. I mean, that's just a dumb move on its own, okay? Granted, I'm glad it helped him get caught, but my gosh, I mean, this is the same guy that we're talking about who's threatening the judge in front of everybody. So obviously, he's not thinking straight. And in those messages, Cotto wrote that he shot someone. And Cotto and this other person got into an argument about a relationship, but the killer saw this was beside the point. So, Cotto writes in this message, you're arguing about a relationship and I'm telling you that I just dropped someone. So the guy on the other end or person on the other end is arguing about a relationship when Cotto basically just confesses to shooting someone. And so over the summer, he was open to pleading guilty. He was open to pleading guilty and just letting this thing move on, right? But he wanted a more lenient plea deal. And so prosecutors were offering 23 years to life in prison, and he wanted to serve just 20 years and no possible life. At the time, both sides reached an impasse, and Cotto said, okay, we'll go to trial. He's not doing life in prison. Those were his exact words. Well, guess what? Now you have 23 years to life in prison. So there you have it. Guy threatens judge, and now he has 23 years to life.